aika huivit ylös nostaa. SJK! Ei me luovuteta koskaan. Ei koskaan. SJK! Jos et tajunnut tosta, niin se Seinäjoen jalkapallokerho. SJK! Ja muita joo, eikä tuu, se on meidän kerho.
Moi, I'm Mark.
And I'm Jules, and this is the SJK Football Supporters Podcast, bringing you news, reviews and interviews from SJK SJK.
But we're doing it in English for an international fan base. So, Jules, what's in this week's episode?
Well, we'll be looking back at the two legs of the Eurolopputurnaus, or Euro playoffs. Share our memories of our shady memories of the end of season party.
Sorry, hazy memories.
Hazy, yeah. No, you're not shady. That's the wrong word, isn't it? Hazy. Yeah. And we'll look what's to come during the next few months, really.
Yeah, that sounds good to me. I thought as we've started to do recently, maybe start with a couple of shout outs to listeners. Members of the WhatsApp
you can
group.
do the shout outs because you're the social butterfly and I'm just a loudmouth. I can't remember which. I think it might have been Casper said to me yesterday that the good thing is that my which is basically as loud as the rest of the Klopit, he said. So that's my one achievement in life, is that I can shout really loudly.
But every podcast needs light and shade, Jules. So we complement each other perfectly.
Yeah, you're the social butterfly. I'm the loudmouth.
But yeah, yesterday we had Kishan and Milan join us at the game. There are a couple of students from SJK University of Applied Sciences, SAMC, that I met with Paul and a few weeks ago. And when you get chatting and there's a football connection, I always say to people, "Hey, you should come down and watch SJK." And they came down yesterday, really enjoyed it. Paul gave them gave them season tickets to use, which was nice. And they came in for their first experience of the game. And I know Kishan said afterwards that, it was great. It made him feel really, really welcome. He met loads of people, and there's no way he's going to remember all those names because he did meet loads of people, but actually loads of people from the WhatsApp group as well. So I was trying to get them to meet people and put names to faces as well. So hopefully that's helpful. And he said that he's only been here 2 months and he no longer feels like he's just a new guy here on his own. So that's nice.
And I suppose we should give a shout out to Billy, who actually listened to the pod now.
Is that right? The whole thing, or just one episode?
No, he said he's listened to it all. He said,
wow.
Well, he's got a lot of time at work, and
okay,
and so yeah.
Did he give you a review?
He just said he's listened to it.
Right. Okay. Well, that's progress. Thanks, Billy.
Yeah. Well, I've said it's like the same old rubbish that we talk anyway with him. So, if you're sitting on a 3-hour bus trip to Valkeakoski, then we've talked this stuff for years anyway.
Yeah, well, that's true. We're just now doing it in front of the microphone.
Yeah.
Okay, so shall we, Jules, have a look back at the last couple of games? There's been 2 games in the past 4 days in this Eurolopputurnaus, or Euro playoff, I suppose, is the easiest thing in
final, I suppose.
Yeah, Euro playoff final. That's right. Yeah.
Yep.
We don't have to go through the whole structure of those playoffs again.
No.
We've done that to death. Let's just say 2 games against Haka, and it started on Wednesday away in Valkeakoski.
Yep.
Haka 1, SJK 2. What were your thoughts of the game?
Yeah, best team won. It's a good game. I was nervous. I didn't realise it, that I was nervous and felt relieved when SJK scored the first goal. And then it went 1-1, didn't it? And then 1-2, if I remember rightly. It's a long time ago, Wednesday. But yeah, we won't go into the goals and stuff unless you want to. But yeah, it was good. It was a good game. Good.
Yeah,
and,
it
deserved results.
Yeah, it's you're right. It went 1-1, 1-1. Then we went to 2-1, and I suppose it was tight, wasn't it? Like, these two teams finished 4th and 5th. They're pretty close all season. They beat us, we beat them, and there's not that much between the two sides. It was a hard fought win. It wasn't like a spectacular game from either team, but 2 decent teams going up against each other. And I going into the game, we said that Haka had played two previous games that had both gone to extra time, and I don't think it really showed. Stevie said it in
Right.
the post match thing as well, that they didn't look tired, and I
Yeah.
don't think that's why we won.
Mm.
Although there was a bit of controversy for the winning goal, not from our side necessarily, but Haka certainly felt
Yeah.
aggrieved.
Was it the winning goal or the first
No, it
goal?
was Jaime Moreno's. Oh no, was it Yari Streng's goal? It was the
Yuri
first goal.
Streng's goal.
Sorry,
Yuri
yes, you're
Streng's
right.
goal that Arsenal did a great tackle, which Hacker fans think was a foul, and well, the Hacker manager thinks was a foul,
Yeah,
and it was, I don't know. Sometimes they're given, sometimes they're not. Anyway, then he put through a lovely through ball, and Streng finished it nicely. So it was as if it was in their half even. The tackle was between our box and the halfway line,
yeah,
so it's not like a dodgy offside like you can argue we had against them, or uh, they've had against us, sorry, or anything. It's just it was a good tackle or a foul, which it wasn't, and then good goal, nicely finished. With lots of work to do though between the two things.
yeah. But it was the press conference after that was quite funny, I thought, because you said that the Haka manager didn't take it very well. He's
He's still
from
sulking about it now, isn't he?
well, he is still sulking about it. We'll come on to what he said after the game yesterday, but
Yeah.
after the first game, he said the officials in this league are catastrophe,
Mm,
and we're Haka, not SJK. We don't get anything,
yep.
which I thought was hilarious because
Yep.
we're the club that's seen as this nouveau upstart club. No one really has that much appreciation for Asiko outside of Seinäjoki.
Mm,
I think this year the football we played, neutrals or non-Asiko fans have been really positive about how we've been playing, but generally there's not that much love for Asiko. And also Haka are 9 times champions of Finland. So to say we're poor little Haka against big Asiko
yeah.
is it's just daft, isn't it?
Joke is the word that comes into my mind, and you can apply it to wherever you want to apply it in this case.
Yeah. Um, And so coming into Saturday's game, with it being that close, I suppose we were expecting much the same. And the game on Saturday in Seinäjoki finished 2-2.
Let's put
How
the
did
thing.
it
It
how
was
did it
bloody
finish 2-2?
cold, wasn't it? It was 2 degrees. There was snow around the edge of the pitch. We had our first snow here on Friday, so yeah, the attendance, it was 2,000 something, wasn't it? Like
2,400 and something, yeah.
yeah, 2,400 very cold people standing around watching football.
Well, I wasn't
Yeah,
too cold because we were jumping and bouncing and clapping and shouting. That's what everyone should do. Don't sit up in the
yeah.
in the main
I,
stand with blankets over your legs and heated seats. Get
I
bouncing.
can't.
That's the way to do
I
it.
can't remember who said it that they had sweat running down their back and it was like summer. But like,
Yeah, yeah, it was Jyrki actually
oh,
said that, I
Eureka,
think.
was it?
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah.
And from our perspective, most of the games seem to be played down the other end. Like in the first
Hmm.
half, we were playing away from us, and it felt like we had most of the ball mostly down their end. Um, they played good football. That Imani Langadok, who's on loan from Fulham, he's caught my eye a few
Ah,
times
is he the
this.
guy with the ponytail?
Yeah, like the
Rusty
dreads.
ponytail.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah.
dreads.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Yeah, I thought he looked good.
yeah, and is the one who's been scoring some goals certainly
Yeah.
in his
Poor little
playoffs as
hacker.
well.
He's on loan from Fulham.
Yeah, exactly. Poor little Haka. um,
Yeah.
but we it felt comfortable and it felt like we were making lots of chances. And you and I spoke with Stevie about 10 days ago, and he shared with us some sort of insights into how he's trying to get the team to play and things like that. And one thing I noticed was 3 or 4 times in the first half, we got the ball to the byline and pulled it back right into the center of the box, which is this kind of optimal scoring zone. So that was quite interesting to see some of the things he told us in practice, if you like. And it was one of those chances that led to the first goal.
Mm. Yep.
Um,
Indeed. Indeed.
and that was in the first half. Um, he says desperately looking for his stats.
37th minute.
Oh, there you go.
Babakov Ati.
Who knew that you were so good? Yeah.
Yeah, I
Okay.
did some research before this.
Right.
I watched the game again just to
Right.
remind
Well,
me.
that's good because I was
Yeah.
doing all the other prep for the
I
show. So
even
this is
wrote down.
teamwork.
I even wrote down the other minutes of the goals. Yep.
Well, yeah, well, those ones actually I know off the top of my head. That wasn't the difficult bit. But
Yeah.
we went in at half time and it felt positive. And I was thinking, okay, let's keep this up. Now we'll have some football played down our end. But in the second half, it was maybe a little bit more even. And
We had lots of chances on the break. Then they came at us and we kind of sat in more. And Billy, as we were saying that, what we're doing now, we're going to concede. What we're going to concede. Why we're defending so deep because we were getting deeper and deeper, but then we were having chances on the break as well.
yeah.
So
I noticed. I remember showing Satu sort of towards the end of the first half, and we'd had slightly more of the possession. But then you look at it, and this is on FOTMob, and this is what Stevie said is fairly accurate, but not brilliant. So we'll take it with a relatively, pinch of salt, if you like. But it says by the end of the game, Haka had 55%, we had 45.
rubbish.
Well, but we had 15 shots, 9 on target, and they had 10 shots, 3 on target.
Nine shots on
Yeah,
target.
yeah. I think a lot of them.
Lots of blocks.
Yeah, it must have been blocks. Yeah, must have been blocks. It doesn't break it down at our level on there as to whether they were saved or blocked or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, and it was like that. I was checking it a few times during the game.
I'm really
So I like
surprised
to
by
look
that
at the
statistics on the possession that we
Yeah.
didn't have that much possession. Yeah.
Well, let's see. After this, Stevie will listen to this tomorrow, and then he'll send me a voice note with all the things we got slightly wrong.
No, when he's going back to Scotland. He'll be on holiday.
Well, that's true. Yeah, Stevie, don't send us messages. Have a nice
Yeah,
holiday.
you're on holiday, mate. That's it. Knock off. Spend time with your wife and kids.
But then let's go fast forward to the end of the game then.
Well, yeah, I was all the way through the game. We got the goal in the 37th minute, and then after that, okay, we got a 2-0 advantage over the two ties. So I was like, if we can make it to the 65th minute, 65th minute, we'll be all right. If we make it to the 70th minute, we'll be all right. If we make it to the 75th minute, we'll be all right. And then Kasper Pan, and then bless his cotton socks, pops up in. I noticed he Schreng had a couple of minutes earlier, about 5 minutes earlier, a break, and shoots from a wide angle. God, I can't speak today. Shoots
It's
from
not
a wide-
ideal for a podcast, Jules.
No, it's not. It's not good. Shoots from a wide angle. A wide angle. And I noticed Kasper had a bit of a shout at him, like, I'm free in the box.
Okay.
And then next time, about 5 minutes later, then Jere String puts through a lovely ball, leaving Kasper Parnanen free in the box, and he buries it. Takes one touch.
He did bury it. It came to him, and everything seemed to go still, and he was so calm.
Yep.
And one thing we've done as a team this year is not take chances when they've come in those sort of positions. And as the goalkeeper came out, he sort of just slipped it past him inside the post. And that was it. 2-0, 88th minute, game over, right?
And up into the stands as well. Jumps up into
Yeah,
the
that's
stands.
right. They all
That's
came,
nice.
they all jumped up to the stands, came and sort of celebrated with the fans there. It's a bit tricky at our stadium because we're raised up, but they come to the front row and people went down there and sort of celebrated with them. And
so that's it. Game over.
it mustn't it? 88 minutes. But no, this is SJK in 2024. Nothing's quite that simple.
We've got a victory song that we do. So we're
Are you going to sing, Jules?
Not today.
Okay.
So we were busy singing that, and
with the scarves in the air.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's a song about raising your scarves and showing it to the whole area, that sort of thing.
And then Haka scored in the 90+1.
Yep.
And I think, oh well, we can keep on singing. And then 90+3, they score again. So that's like, oh, someone shouted, "Come, keep singing. We're not winning anymore."
Yeah,
So
yeah.
not on the game.
And then it got really nervy, didn't it? I was like,
Yeah,
oh my God, just blow that whistle for
yeah,
goodness sake, get it
yeah.
over. The funny thing is that both the goals were really unclear from
Mm,
where we were standing. So I didn't realize the first one had gone in. And
yeah,
then they lit their flares. And Satu said to me, oh, well, they have to light them now, don't they?
yeah.
And I thought, oh, right, did they score then? And then they like kicked off, and I was like, "Oh!" And I checked the app. I was like, "Oh, they did score." I couldn't see it, just didn't know.
Yeah.
And there wasn't such a big roar from their fans or anything like that. So it must have. I don't know if the goalkeeper was unsighted. It's
Yeah,
just
for both of them, they
okay,
kind of well, the second one was a deflection,
right, okay,
so Europa didn't stand a chance with that one. But they both came through crowded areas. So
right, yeah,
yeah, both from basically from the edge of the box,
yeah, that's
shots
right, and
in.
that's why it was unclear from where we
Yep.
were.
Yeah.
And the thing is, although Sutter had said they have to start cheering now, she when the second goal went in, she didn't realise that the first one had even been scored. So it's like
I
everyone
I
seemed a bit unclear what was going
I
on.
thought that they lit their flares too early. It would have been
Yeah,
quite hilarious if they did score a third one and then they've like already had their party that when they were
yeah, then they're
losing.
just
But
like in matches.
yeah,
But we got
mobile
there.
phones.
We
Yeah,
got
yep.
there.
Got
Aggregate
over the
score
line. Yeah,
4-3. And
we're going to
then
Europe.
yeah, then we're into Europe, into probably like the first qualifying rounds of the Europa conference.
Mhm.
But
The
maybe
number I've seen is about 300,000 that's worth, which is you would say is somewhere between 25% and
30% maybe of
30% of our
the
budget.
budget.
So that's a nice pile.
Yeah. And then the team kind of came over to us. They had some cool like one-off t-shirts
Mm.
made about qualifying for Europe. So let's see if they
There's
end up on.
and suddenly we're singing Casper Parnen's name, and I'm looking on the pitch like to see, so what's he doing? Why everyone's shouting his name? And there he stood stood basically next to me
Yes, exactly.
with
He
the
was. Yeah,
microphone, with
yeah.
the
that was
megaphone, doing
that was really
leading the
cool,
Kloppien.
wasn't it? So
Yeah.
we'd sung to the players. They'd come over and sort of acknowledge the fans, and then Casper climbed up into the stand with us, took hold of the megaphone, and led the fans on singing a song about Stevie leading us into Europe,
Yep.
which was really really cool. And that was kind of it. Then we walking on air into the bar upstairs.
And a lot of beer.
Yeah, well, and so those that don't know the stadium so well, there's two bars there. There's the Carlsberg bar, which is sort of for everybody, and then there's the Atria Lounge, which is where they do the sort of executive and corporate entertaining before the game and during the game. But this time, that's where the after party was,
Mm.
and we had something to celebrate, so we all went up there. Should
The
we?
after
Should we?
party was really good. Shall I just say how
Yeah, go on,
well?
go
I
on with it.
mean, it was nice because it's all you need is the players, the fans together, and there were a couple of short speeches, which was nice, and you could have done that without the troubadour, the guy singing, because that's a really hard gig. No one really wants to see there. But there was oh, what's the app? There was a quiz anyway. There
Yeah,
was a
some
quiz.
quiz.
I can't think of that app, what it is, but anyways, but so there was a quiz and then just everyone mixing and talking, and it was a really good time.
The quiz was good because there was like 50 odd teams from all those people in pairs and singles and
Yep.
teams, and you were in a team with Billy, who basically then left halfway through and left you on your Jack Jones, and I was in a team with. Well, there were about 10 of us, including who's Ash Civil, who's the academy assistant head coach. So, so we should have done quite well. But the problem we had, um, I couldn't really read the screens very well to see what the question was. And Ash would have known the answers, but it hasn't got the finish yet to necessarily pick up on the questions quickly enough.
Oh, is that what he's telling you? Yeah,
That
he
well,
would
that
have
was
known. He would
that's
have
our
known.
excuse anyway. Yeah. So
Yeah.
our team of
Cahoots
10,
was the quiz.
yeah, Kahoot, yeah, and our team of 10 finished about 16th, I think. How did you get on?
Worse than that.
Okay, all right, Ron, we'll leave it. We'll leave it there.
A lot worse than
I'm
that.
but you were alone, so
Yeah, and
um,
Yeah, yeah.
But it was nice in the bar there. Like after, so we did all this. We had the quiz. There were a couple of speeches. The troubadour came on and played a few songs, and then the players started to filter up into the bar as well. And this is true in Finland as well as in Finnish football, that the access you get to the players and whatever is, it's just so much closer.
It is close. I mean, you are, yeah. It is city club. You know that the fans are part of the club, and it is all much more accessible. And even to the state that you can be shopping and you bump into a player, kind of thing. So yeah, it's not. Yeah.
Well, a few years ago, we bumped into the then coach Yanni Honkavara, didn't we, in the local S market? I was
Yeah.
I was chatting with him, and then Jules walked past and sort of joined in with us. So,
Yeah, I've got a really bad face memory, so I didn't actually recognize who
no,
it was. Yeah.
I recognise faces, but don't always remember the names. So we should hang out together a lot
I
more.
didn't either.
We'll be all right.
Yeah.
But then so at the party we had the Kloppien kannu, which is like the Klopit, the supporters group player of the year. And this is not always for the player who's been the best, but it's the one that's really connected with the fans the most. And there were three people shortlisted this year. One was Rasmus Karjalainen, then Kasper Pannanen, and Ville Tikkanen,
Yep.
who's won it twice before.
Yeah.
Um,
And it's
and
club captain.
yes, yeah. And the winner was Rasmus Karjalainen, which
Yeah.
I think is fair. And he didn't do himself any harm by before the game coming over and telling us how great we are. I
Yeah,
think
that's
the
it.
votes have, but and the votes have been made by then, obviously. But
Him and Stevie came over and
yeah,
said, like, one more game, lads. So,
yeah,
you've been great all season, so just one more game. So that was a nice thing. That was
yeah.
nice.
But that demonstrates the attitude that he has to the fans that won him
Yeah.
that cup. So I thought
I had a word with
that
him
was really
afterwards, and he really appreciated it. And
yeah.
he didn't expect it as well. He said, I never expected this, so it's a really nice surprise, and yeah, and it means a lot to him. So
No, I had
good.
a good chat with him. We went and sat on the terrace just outside for 10 minutes, not
Okay.
sort of too long, but and spoke to quite a few of the players through the night. So I had a chat with him, with Marcus Arcelo, with Salim Youssef, and they know about the pod, and some of them listen to it. And when I said about
Don't listen to that pod, it's useless. So they know about it.
well, and I sort of I was asking if they'll come on, and they all said they'd be interested. So in the
For a small
future,
fee.
well, nobody asked for any fees. I mean, we pay the very smallest fees.
Were you buying beer at the time?
No.
Yeah.
So that's like positive as well. And also talking about access. So I was also like saw Raimo Sarajärvi, who's the chairman of the club, sort of walking around. He gave a speech, and then he was sort of walking the floor, and he came over near me. So I stood up and sort of said hi and shook hands and congratulations or whatever. And he said, "It's congratulations for all of us." And then we had a chat, and I said, do you know that me and Jules have been making this podcast?
Yeah, and he said,
And
you're
he's
barred, not coming back next season.
well, that's what I was wondering, but no, actually, he said the opposite. He said that he's listened to it. So thank you, Mr. Chairman, and he
Thank you,
likes
Mr. Chairman.
it because he likes it that we are positive but honest about the games. And if it's been bad, you say it's been bad. I don't think we've ever said it's been that bad. not this
Bad
season.
isn't the word we've used. It's just isn't it? That's the one. But
So,
we haven't had to say that much this season. It's been a very good season, very entertaining, and as a season as a whole, if this was offered to me at the start of the season, I would have bitten your hand off.
yeah, absolutely. I think it's been good. And then, I mean, who else? We've mentioned Kasper a couple of times. We've sort of become friendly with Kasper during this season, and I have to say he was very generous at the bar by putting things on the tab and giving it to us. So I can't say that his hand went in his pocket, but his hand certainly went into the club's tab and got us a couple of drinks. So thanks, Kasper. Very kind.
Actually, Ripe listens to this, doesn't he? So he might be in contact about.
Well, okay, then
about those beers,
that needs to be
Mark.
taken out of Kasper's next pay packet. And that's kind of it for us. A season, a really positive season, and a really good end to it. So What comes next, Jules, in the kind of calendar? From our perspective, I guess we won't be chatting with microphones in front of us quite so often, but I'd quite like to keep some stuff coming out through the closed season, maybe talking about players in, players out, and maybe speaking with some players during the closed season.
Maybe we can do, well, I don't know as well. I think it's good to give them some time off. It's like a break, let them have some time, but like maybe a monthly thing now, like because now it's player contracts. We know some players who are leaving, some so I think we can get together when a significant amount of contract news has been released.
Yeah, yeah. And I'd actually quite like to speak to Paul Riley, who I know listens to this. He's the head of recruitment for the club, and to speak to him when the new players come in to give us an idea of what skill sets or whatever these players have got, what attributes they've got, and what to look out for next year. That would be really, really helpful, I think.
Yeah. So the players and stuff are on holiday for November. And I think the international players are on holiday for November and December, generally. I know Stevie's back for 5 days in December, so that's it. I take it Donny's taking care of everything else up in December. Yeah, so Christmas training,
and then all
back in proper stuff in.
Yeah, in January for the Liigacup.
Yep.
For those that haven't seen it before, there will be some listening and watching that don't know the Liigacup. Just give a bit of a explanation what it's like.
It's in January and February.
Yeah.
And it's normally split. It does change the format, but last time I think it was split. The Veikkausliiga was split into two geographically, so north and south, or mid and north, versus the south. So there's, we play each other. There's 5 games, and last year it was the top 2 go into the semi-final, and you win a Mickey Mouse Cup, and it's a kind of it's somewhere between a friendly or a warm-up game and a real game, if you know what I mean.
I feel the same way because it's indoors. It's a weird. That's the other thing. That's the biggest thing. Almost, it's played almost entirely indoors. Some of the later games in the south maybe get outside on snowy pitches.
Artificial pitch, not grass and so.
But it's inside, and that gives a bit of a surreal air. And the view of the game is not great. And there's loads of new players and no names on shirts, so you got who's running around out there.
Unlimited substitutions,
right? Yeah.
But I'm not sure of how many substitutions there are. But then I think the players have to be registered with the club. So you can't do the kind of trainee trial players.
Right.
They have to be signed to the club, I believe, but I don't want to.
It's all right. Stevie will put you right in the morning.
Yeah. He's on holiday.
Yeah. But yeah, that's kind of what's coming up. A bit of holiday for the club, some pre-season training leading up to the Liigacup starting usually at the end of Jan. I couldn't find fixtures for next year, but
they don't know. They won't be announced yet.
No, maybe not. That's right.
So that comes. That's normally December or even January that they're announced. So. I mean, there was one time you weren't there, I believe, Mark. We stuffed Vapier 6-0, was it? I think.
Okay, that would have been a nice one to see.
Yeah, you missed that one. We were laughing about that.
I'll try and get my season ticket a bit earlier this year and get down
so that's worth buying season tickets because it gets you into these into the League Cup games free.
Yeah, and also it's worth those listening that are in Seinäjoki area just thinking that there's often an early bird season ticket price up till Christmas or end of the year or something like that, where it's a little bit cheaper. But season ticket price at full price is like was 149 euros this past season. So it's still really good value for
17 home games.
Yeah, something like that, isn't it? Including Cup and including these playoffs as well. So
with extras. Yeah, so it's definitely it's under 10 euros a game.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
It's well worth it.
But Jules, I reckon that just about wraps it up.
Yeah, that's
for
the
this
end of the
episode.
season. Listener,
And
you can breathe a sigh of relief. That's it.
no more listen, no more of us two prattling on about football for so much for a few months. Remember, listener or viewer, to subscribe to the show wherever you're listening or viewing.
And you can contact the Senioki Supporters Podcast by email at seniokifootballpod@gmail.com. And you can find links to all our content on Linktree at Senioki Football Pod.
Yeah, and we also have this WhatsApp group that we talked about. Yesterday we added the 30th member of that group. Welcome, Aaron. So it's growing, and that's really good. It's there to continue the conversation in between episodes, open to any fan of SJK. So if you want to join, you can email us, and we'll add you a link. Send you a link to the group, and also on Linktree, there's a link there to request to join the group as well.
Yeah, so it's not quite until next season, but because we will do a couple of pods in between. But until the next episode, see you online because it's not going to be at the stadium.
It's not.
Thankfully, it's cold. Goodbye.
Hey, Bob.